everybody. Happy new week. I hope you're doing amazing. I have got the gorgeous Lisa Brearley next to me, coming today, not from Thailand, but from Canada. She has made the move back. She spends 6 months in Thailand and then 6 months in Canada. So welcome and good afternoon, Sunday afternoon for you today, Lisa.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yeah, finally back in Canada. It's only my 6th day back in Canada, so getting used to the time zone changes.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It takes about 2 weeks to get over the jet lag and all that sort of stuff. Well, I'm really happy for us to be reconnecting again because I had a bit of a look when I interviewed you last, and it was 11 months ago, so just on a year ago. And behind Lisa there, you guys can see her pink book, A Year of Love, was the first book that we interviewed on. Oh, there you go. It's right next to her as well. And today we're back to interview on the second book in this particular, what's I think going to become a saga. I love it. And that is 6 months of love. So I am going to, there she is, she's holding that up, but I'm going to share that on the screen a little bit bigger so you can see it while I do her introduction, and then we'll get stuck into the awesome conversation we're going to have today. So guys, Lisa Brearley, the author of A Year of Love and now 6 months of love, enjoyed a fulfilling career in teaching along with a happy marriage and 2 lovely children. Following the end of her 26-year marriage, she embarked on a journey of self-discovery. In 2021, she met the love of her life, Scott Brearley, that I had the pleasure of also meeting just a month ago in Thailand. Embracing this new chapter, Lisa took a hiatus from teaching to pursue her passion for writing. Her debut book, A Year of Love, was swiftly followed by 6 months of love. Combining her interests in health and education, Lisa is soon to release her first children's book, I Know, Choices About Nutrition. Lisa's transformative journey serves as a testament to unlocking one's full potential and recognizing inherent value. Her story encourages cultivating daily gratitude to reshape perspectives and, like Lisa, embrace the path to living the best life ever. I love that. Beautiful. And as I said before, I had the pleasure of spending a full week with you in Phuket on our first Bond and Beyond retreat, and I got to meet Scott, who's also a recently published author. So we will interview Scott separately to today, but today the focus is on 6 months of love. So do you want to maybe tell us where the first book leaves off and then the other one picks up?
Well, yes, A Year of Love was a year of love, and the journey was from August 15th, 2021 to July 2022, our first year together. And the second book, 6 months of love, actually, it's funny because it is 6 months, but it's actually 8 months of love. I like 6 better, but it is the big focus is on our 6 months that we did spend in Thailand, and I continued to do personal development classes, and Scott and I continued to work hard on our relationship to make it the best we want it to be. And it's also, in addition to the extra 2 months, we did spend a summer, 2 weeks, traveling together from the east coast of Canada back to the west side of Canada. So like 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers on a Harley Davidson. So it was a big adventure. And you know, like many people when they go on a trip, that's not fully planned. I must say that was a big thing for us. We did this adventure across Canada. Scott actually went first from the west to the east side by himself, and I met him there. And I told you last time, I believe, that's when I actually started writing this book, was on that flight. And then we traveled back from the east side back to the west side. And we didn't fully plan that trip out. We would literally ride 10-ish hours every day. Wow. And about mid-afternoon, we would stop for our Starbucks coffee and get Wi-Fi and go, where are we going to stay today? So we would get out Expedia and look at the next nearest sort of little town. And we liked to do the back roads kind of traveling, not the big highways. We wanted to discover the little towns and the little uniqueness. And so in this book, you will hear some of our adventures, like we did the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia, which was absolutely incredibly beautiful. And then we discovered some, cool little quirky little towns that were just so much fun. They had like little things that were like the biggest baseball bat in North America or something silly like that. So we had lots of fun doing this together. And I'm not a bike rider, to let you know. That was the biggest first trip I had ever been on. Yes, Scott's been riding for many, 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 many moons, many years.
But did you guys ride on two bikes or on one together?
I was on the back, yes.
Okay, all right. That would have been really brave if you had to do it yourself. So amazing. And, so it follows the adventures of that particular 2-week period plus the 6 months that you guys spent in Thailand?
Yes, correct. The majority of the book is about the 6 months in Thailand. And we actually decided, it was part of a goal setting course that we took to plan this trip to Thailand. It was on a 6-month tourist visa. And we really had no idea what we were getting into. We knew a friend there, and so we kind of went on a whim, and we were open for opportunities and adventures and seeking out these new things. And so the 6 months is in Thailand from October to April of 2022 to 2023.
Yeah, I love it. And that's what I love about you guys. Like it's the risks that you choose to take and the adventures that you go on, because that's the big message behind it all, that started you guys. You met originally in a personal development course, is that right?
Correct. Yeah. And you'll read all about that in the first book. Yeah, we read it, or we met at a week-long personal development class, and we continued to do personal development work together and separate as well. But yes, that's what it does say on the first book, taking risks big and small, finding my soulmate to win it all. But the one thing I discovered from that book, when I wrote about the soulmate in that book, it was about Scott. I understood that this was the person I was meant to be with. However, when I started writing this book, and it was literally close to the end of writing that book, I had an aha moment. I'm like, I'm my own soulmate. I am my own person who is excited for me, for the best for me. And so that was one of the kind of cool things that I discovered in the writing process is the like little light bulb moments that go off for me. And yeah, that was one of them for sure. And the subtitle on this one, the small title on this one is Plane Scooters, Bikes and Diving, not just surviving. I choose thriving. So yeah, like we did all those things. Lots of plane rides, that's for sure. Scooters, yes, in Thailand, scooters are a big thing. And we rode around on 6 months, the two of us on one scooter. And that
Wow.
people of Thailand, that might not seem much because a lot of them we saw 5 or 4 people.
Family. Yeah.
But we did that for 6 months. And I also decided I would go out on a scooter myself, which was a big thing for me. So in my first book, you may remember Natasha stretching my comfort zone. That was a big thing. And I talk about it as well in the second book too. So I discovered that stretching my comfort zone means that I'm growing and I'm taking on new experiences and new opportunities. And that's when I get to grow. And it's so exciting.
And a few people are saying hello. Linda's watching. You got to meet Linda, and Linda's there, and how brave you are, Debbie's saying, and Aman as well, sending love. So what is maybe, what's the intention with your books? What do you hope that the future brings? And how you guys, I know that you do a little bit of coaching with other people who perhaps are struggling or stuck. Do you want to talk to me about that? Because I've loved seeing you guys become authors, and I feel like I've been part of your adventures because we get to see each other in a lot of our support calls and things like that. And now we've met in real life as well. So tell me a little bit about what the future holds, because I know there's a house being built in Thailand now.
Yes, there is. So it's been an interesting journey. When I wrote the first book, A Year of Love, I had people notice the shifts I was personally making myself. And when I met Scott, as well, how great and how positive I was in that relationship. And I had many people say, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. And my own limiting sort of belief about myself was like, really? I can't write a book. However, I did. And so that was my goal, was to just write a book, be okay with my thoughts, my feelings, my words being out there, like now in stone, right? And that was the goal of the first one. When I finished, though, my first book, I thought this might inspire other people. When
Mm.
I wrote my second book, I thought that's the headspace I'm in. I'm in a space where I hope to inspire others to stretch their comfort zone, do new things, connect with new people. I was really taken aback actually when my mom read my first book and she said, Lisa, you inspired me. And I was like, what, Mom? What are you talking about? She said, when you talked about going up to a stranger in a restaurant and sparking up a conversation, she said, I did that the other day. And I was like, oh, I just affected one person. I'm so happy. Like I inspired one person to step out. A lot of people say step out of their comfort zone. So however you say it, I say it's stretching. And so it excited me with 6 months of love that I would inspire more people.
Mm.
And as I began to build the confidence level of being known as an author now, which is like, because I taught for so long as a teacher, and I'm like, now I'm an
Yes.
author, this is crazy. We were meeting so many new people
Mm.
and even new family that I hadn't met before of Scots, because we had traveled across the country a couple times at that point. And we were talking to them and it was like they were saying, they were sharing, they were like coming to us with like, wow, they I had realized that my feelings or my words or my things that I thought were that important. So this level of growth with 6 months of love just has blown me away as how I have grown doing it. So
I can see that because I've known you now for a couple of years, and it was very much about the relationship, yeah, at the very beginning. And then, as you say, you're your own soulmate, and how does someone embark on a path like this for themselves? Like, what would be your best advice, if someone's like kind of stuck in, I mean, what was your defining moment that made you kind of embark on this journey?
I think a few things happened for me. Back in 2018, I started taking real control of what I ate.
Mm.
I wasn't feeling great, a bloaty and foggy head, and just not feeling great. And I had reached out to a program called Healthy Transformations, and I actually was in the program for 5 years and learned a lot of information and was supported with food. And besides that, about the same time, I began personal development work. And it was with a program or with a business that's been around for 51 years now. And there are many out there. But having those two work, I guess having those two really provided me with that groundwork to get running, to move forward, to move
Yeah.
forward. And so helping others, we ourselves have a coaching or mentoring website. It's called Forward Walking Choices. And we're discovering ourselves that just connecting with people,
Mm.
anybody, friends, strangers, that having conversations, we might not be making the money, but we're having true effect on people when we are having
Yeah.
deep conversations with people that get them thinking. And it's been an amazing, amazing journey doing this with Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And what about him himself? Like, you inspired him to write his book, didn't you?
Yes, I would like to say that. Yes, I think he got the writing bug and got excited, and I'm so proud of him. Like he wasn't a typer, and literacy was really tricky for him, and I'm so proud he typed out his whole book and just amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited for it to come out and to be able to share kind of those 3 books for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And just I want to share like the website that you spoke of, because there's a couple of different things we'll share with you guys as we go through. So I'm just going to pull up the forward walking choices. Here we go.
We
So
love that name. We love that name.
There you go, forward walking choices. There they are, Scott and Lisa, and you can go through and have a bit of a read in terms of how they help and what they speak about. And then Lisa, we're going to share a couple of other links where people can grab your books on your website, because they're a little bit tricky. So I'll get Lindy to post them in the chat, as well as you've got your ebooks available at your own set price point rather than what it's being they're being sold online. So what's your best advice for someone who is listening and go, wow, that sounds like so much fun. How did you even create this lifestyle? What, how did you guys just pick up and go? Where did that decision, come about all these trips and adventures that you guys take? Is there one of you that like kind of goes, let's do this, and the other one kind of comes along, or what's the thought process? Because I'm sure a lot of people might be, I would love to do that, but I don't think this way. Yeah.
Yeah, the big but. I would love to, but lots of buts, right? Lots of buts. I think the starting point for us, well, I know definitely for me, and same for Scott, is that someone presented an idea to him, and that was personal development for both of us, right? Someone offered an idea to do it, and it's easy to just say no. And so, however, we both said yes. And we realized that other people were either mentioning things to us like that, opportunities like that, because they loved us or because they wanted the best for us, not because they were trying to fix us or solve us. And so we realized that when other people were doing that with other things, whatever it is, like, let's go on a bike ride here, let's go to this, cave or this temple, or we would say, yeah, let's go do that. And it was the understanding that, not having one of my favorite, it's at the end, I'm going to read it because this is kind of the way we live. I mean, we do plan things and we are prepared. We're not flying totally by the seat of our pants, but I had a year-long coaching course this past year. And Matt, my coach, he said this to me, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Optimum results are only available when you have zero expectations on the outcome. Optimum results are only available when you have zero expectations on the outcome. And for me, that meant be present. Be present, and take in, have gratitude, appreciate, and the other big thing, reach out for support. Reach out for support, ask for help. And when you ask others for help, one thing that I realized or understood is that look and see who you would love to be like, or strive to be, or like their lifestyle, or like the way they are. That's who you ask, right? So for example, you, Natasha, it's like, oh, she wrote all these books and she's got a great program. Well, I'm going to ask Natasha the great questions and see if she can help me. So it's reaching out to those people. And how did we do it? Well, we do have, we are renter. We rent out our houses in Canada. So that's part of our income, which allows us to travel. And yes, we had decided to build a house in Thailand. And it's been an interesting journey because we are speaking with total Thai. They're very, very little bit English. And so Google Translate has been our friend. And so we're discovering our strengths, I suppose, patience, learning new ways to communicate. And there's been so much growth in this journey of building in Thailand, and we're super excited. And you never know, we might have tons of friends stop, and there's new opportunities, right? New people to talk to who want to come to Thailand and visit Thailand. So we're excited for that.
I can't wait to see where all of this unfolds. And I know that there's going to be subsequent I guess sequels to what this journey is, and that's wonderful, like just to see how much positivity and forward outlook and what you guys are planning and see for your own future. Because some people at this point in their life, once they've raised their children, they're like, they don't know what to do, right? And they could be also sitting in a point of transitioning, right? And I really love all the little gold nuggets that I think you live and breathe what you'd like to inspire people with, and you're so right about find the person that has the results that you want and ask them the questions. Don't get advice or listen to people who don't have what you want. And that's what is a big mistake that a lot of people make in life. They listen to people, they want to grow a business, they listen to people who have never had a business in their life. Or, you know, as you said, you know, if someone wants to take a risk or, you know, travel to another country and live there for half the time, and you know, I guess you guys are escaping the winter over in Canada by being in Thailand for the other part of the year, which is a really awesome strategy. I'd love to, you know, same thing for my future. I'd love to follow the sun, you know, wherever it is. But so true. Like, I think when people see other people happy, that's like a magnet to have those deeper conversations and more fulfilling stuff. So yeah, a few people are saying lovely discussion, such good advice. You know, so any other quotes that you have in your book that you just absolutely live by? You want to share?
Oh my goodness.
I know you're always on social media every other day. There's a quote that has resonated with you, and I'll see you post it up and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
I think this is one that a lot of people, when they step back and look at their life and their past and growing up, I think that they start to kind of have those aha moments. And so this is my I call them gratitude thoughts. And at the end of each chapter is a gratitude thought. It says, I am very aware that I believed the many stories that were told to me, and I reconfirmed those beliefs over and over in my life. I am grateful that I have this awareness about Scott as well. The stories he was told about him has been reconfirmed over and over again. I am grateful that I can be with him on his journey of this awareness. So it's sort of stepping back and looking at yourself as a child, as you're, you know, growing up, and, you know, you wonder why you struggle as an adult. And when we were born, I'm so excited that I'm learning all this stuff, but when we were born to be our authentic self. Like, we cried, we got stuff, you know, we smiled, we were happy, right? Or whatever. Anyway, we were born our authentic self. And over the years, I like to call it layers. We're layered with other people's expectations or thoughts or how we should be. And so when we kind of go to the acceptance side of being accepted, and we lose our authentic self. It's still in there, but it's covered and covered and covered with layers. So as an adult, it's now to start looking at those layers and start peeling them back. And kind of, I look at it as rediscovering my authentic self, not finding it like it's in there. I'm just rediscovering her. And I'll always have layers that I need to peel. They'll always be there. There'll always be some, but it's really cool to have that, get to that place and then get to a new plateau and a new plateau. And it's just, it makes life very interesting when you start to come to these new, like, aha moments and wow moments for yourself. And some people do say, like, you're asking about moving to Thailand, going to Thailand for 6 months and back, and how do you make those decisions? And it's a decision. And so even some decisions don't work, and and be okay with that, and to be okay and say, you know what, we did it, it didn't work, let's look again, let's get creative and get the drawing board out and look at it again. What else do we want to do? So yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like to jump on it because it's too risky or whatever like that, but it's to, you know, we're meant to live in life.
I often say, something I learned at the start of my personal development journey 14 years ago is you say yes, then you work out the how. Yeah.
Exactly.
And usually it is only when you say yes that the solutions or the steps kind of become apparent and you start taking them. And as you say, sometimes it's going to be a roadblock, and other times you're going to, like, oh, I'm so happy that worked out. And yeah, when I think back through all the moments, but I think if you do work on yourself, you start to recognize that life's not meant to be always super easy. But as long as you remain solution focused every step of the way, which is what I think that's what you're trying to say. And Debbie said, I have read your first book and I'm looking forward to reading too. You go, girl, your positivity is contagious. And yes, I think you have this sense of contentment within you that I believe is something that people look for. And I think there is value in being able to share that information with others. We're all an amalgamation of having learned different things from different people. But yes, when you show up authentically in the world, you can help others. And Jan says, yes, yes, then work out the how. Love this. It's so hard though for people to do it, isn't it? You
It's
know,
very
feel like
hard.
they need to know, oh, but I need to know all the 15 steps of what's going to happen before I say yes. That's not taking a risk. It's a risk is when you say yes and you don't have the time, or you don't have the money, or you don't have even the skill set, right? Same as you writing a book, right? When you said yes to your first book, as you said, I didn't think I was a person that could ever possibly see myself as an author, right?
Yeah, exactly. And didn't realize like how much growth I was going to have personally over that time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
by book two, your own soulmate. You didn't realize. So ultimately, coming back to ourselves, and the word love is part of the topic of today's discussion, guys. You know, and love is about, you know, ultimately rediscovering that the first person you have to love and be okay with and have as your soulmate is you. And then I think that kind of spreads to your partner, to your children, like, you know, obviously share that love and contribute into the world.
Can I mention one more growth thing?
Please.
So during this book, one of the big things that Scott and I started that was extremely important in our relationship was to ask each other each morning, how can I love you today? And that's one of our biggest golden nuggets to anyone who's in a relationship. How can I love? So when you're with a partner, how can I love you today? And to learn what your partner needs to be loved. And we did kind of put a little extra onto that. And at the end of the day, we always asked, did I fulfill my goal in loving you today, or did I love you today? During the second book, I discovered not only that fantastic tip for the relationship, I was looking in the mirror one day, I'm like, why am I not asking that to myself? So I now look at myself in the mirror and say, how can I love you today, Lisa? So that was a big thing in my second book. So
That's a
yeah.
that's a gold nugget there. Drop the mic moment. I love it. I love that one. Take it. I always love practical advice. And it's about being consistent, not just doing it for one day. But you know, just having it as part of your routine. You're brushing your teeth, you ask yourself that question in the mirror, and then you go outside and when meet with your partner and you can have that little discussion. So that's a really cool one. Well, I know Lindy's shared all the various different links. Guys, please check out, go get Lisa's book, either on her website or the ebook. Check out what these guys are up to. They're world travelers, but always present and available, you know, to talk and to assist other people. And I can't wait to, as I said, let's get Scott organized to get him interviewed in the next month or so, because I know he would have just arrived home. And did he have his first proof copy waiting for him there?
We have not arrived back to our house yet. Yes.
Okay, but it's hopefully waiting there. And yeah, beautiful support there. Love yourself first. I had to learn this by myself here, Jan saying. Thank you so much, guys, for your awesome comments, interaction. Lisa, I can't wait to see how everything unfolds. We'll probably be doing more interviews like this in the future. So take that hot tip. How can I love you today, whoever you are, for yourself, and then to your partner? How can I best love you today is a really good thing to get into the practice of, and to just, you know, work at it all the time. Work on yourself, work on your relationship, and work on your love. Thank you, Lisa. I'll talk to you guys very soon. And remember, go out there and smash out this week. Bye, guys.